Very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to look at a sacred hymn on Lord Vinayaka, which is given to us by Avvayar, called Vinayaka Raghaval. Now, the reason I am recording this video is because I find I was trying to look. My friend was asking me about Vinayaka Raghaval, so I was trying to see whether I can find a video or an explanation in English, which I can send to him or her, but couldn't find it, so I thought I'll try and do my best here. So before I start, I would like to tell you that I am neither a scholar nor a great devotee. So whatever I say in this recording, please take it with a pinch of salt, and if you have any doubts, please check with those who are more knowledgeable, right? So with that, let me just say that this explanation is based on this. If you look at the video, you will see that it's based on this book, Vinayaka Raghaval Explanation in Tamil by Professor R. Vayyapuri. So it's based on that. Now, Vinayaka Raghaval is given to us by Avvayar. Now, there are many Avvayars who have existed over the centuries in Tamil Nadu. So there is a difference of opinion among scholars as to which Avvayar gave us this particular Vinayaka Raghaval. Is it the same one who gave us Atichodi and Kondravendan, or is it different? Which era and all that. But however, that is for the scholars to debate. But we are more interested in the content of this Raghaval, which is great in the sense that first there are basically three parts. The first part describes the form of Lord Vinayaka. The second and third part goes on to tell us about what Avvayar wants from Vinayaka, what she got, and what sort of benefit she got, what sort of pleasure. She describes the pleasure that she got from Lord Vinayaka. She describes lots of yogic. There's lots of yogic news here, news on Siva Yogam, on Prasada Yogam and all that. So we will look at that later, but today we are going to look at the first part, which is the easiest of all, which describes the form of Lord Vinayaka. So I will start with that. So the first line goes, and you can, where to find Lord Vinayaka Raghaval? You just type in Vinayaka Raghaval on Google, you will find it in Tamil, and I think there you can also find it in a Romanized version, and you can find lots of YouTube videos which contains the audio singing but not explanation. So that's why I'm trying to attempt this. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's start. So starts with Sida Kalaba Sendamarai Poo. Now, first of all, in these first few lines, when Avvayar is describing the feet of the Lord. Now, how is that feet of the Lord? Sida Kalaba Sendamarai Poo Pada Chilamboli Malarisai Pada. Pada means feet. Now, on Lord Vinayaka's feet, it is adorned with silambu. Silambu means anklets. Alright? Now, these anklets, when they move, or when Lord Vinayaka moves or dances, they give out a beautiful sound. Now, that beautiful sound is described as Malar Isai. Isai means, of course, song. Malar means, flower. So this song is described as being as elevating, as fragrant, as the fragrance of flowers. So Malar Isai Pada. So this silambu on the feet of the Lord sings or gives out a beautiful sound like a song, which is as great as the fragrance of flowers. Alright? Malar Isai Pada. Now this feet of the Lord is Seedam. Seedam means cool. Seeda Kalaba. Now on these feet of the Lord, he has all the devotees. There are in Siva Pusai, when you worship the Lord, when you offer him in his Pusai, you offer him fragrances. There are two types of fragrances. One is the fragrance which is in the form of smoke, where you burn and the fragrance, incense comes out. The other one is where the fragrance is in the form of a mixture of fragrant herbs and material such as Pachakatpuram, Sandanam. All these are mixed together it becomes a mixture which is applied to either the body or the feet. Now in Siva Pusai, this mixture is very important. So this is one of the offerings to the Lord, this fragrant mixtures, no? So this fragrant mixture is applied to the feet of the Lord. So therefore Lord Vinayaka's feet is cool, and it has got this kalabam. Kalabam is mixture, that mixture of fragrant substances. See the kalaba Sendamarai Poo. And the feet of the Lord is is reddish and is as fragrant and as soft as red lotus flowers. Tamarai means lotus. Sida Kalaba Sendamarai. Sen means red. So red lotus flowers. So these feet of the Lord are described as wearing anklets, which give beautiful sound. And then they are described as being cool, and they are described as having these fragrant substances applied to it, and they are described as being red, as fragrant, as dainty, as tender as these lotus flowers. So Sida Kalaba Sendamarai Poo Pada Silamboli Malarisai Pada. Now he has described the feet of the Lord and what is on those feet. Now he goes on to describe the waist of the Lord. Now, the waist of the Lord is adorned with something called Arai Nyan. Arai means waist. Nyan means rope or string. Now, in those days when I was young, my father, now we don't have that practice anymore. They tie a string around the waist. They call it Arai. In colloquial language, it's called Arnakudi. We call it Arnakudi. So that is what is meant by, actually it's Arai Nyan. Arai means the waist, Nyan means string. So the string is tied to the waist. Now this string, now Vinayagar has that string around his waist, and that string is made of gold. Pon Arai Nyanum. Pon means gold. Pon Arai Nyanum. And together with that string, he has this beautiful cloth which has got flower patterns on it, or weaved into it, or painted on it, printed on it, something like that. So and he has this on his waist. And his waist is beautiful. Waist is Marungu. Marungu means waist. Vannam means beautiful. So on his beautiful waist, he has his Arainyan, Ponnarainyanum, Poon Tuhil Adayum. Adai means clothes. Tuhil means cloth. So Poon Tuhil means, Poo means of course flower. So you got flower designs on this cloth, and this cloth he wears it as his clothes around his waist. Around his beautiful waist. So you have to take it in that sense. So Ponnarainyanum, there means end. He wears this gold string and beautiful and cloth as clothes with imprinted with flower designs on his beautiful waist. Ponnarainyanum Punduhiladayum. And then Vanna Maringil, and this beauty of this golden string and these flowered clothes on his waist, Vanna Maringil Valarndu Alagu Erippa. Valarndu means the beauty is ever growing. Alagu means beauty, ever growing beauty. Valarndu Alagu Erippa. Valarndu Alagu Erippa. Erippa means, Erital means to actually to shine forth. So this beauty of the Lord's waist with this gold string and this beautiful flowered cloth, the beauty of it shines forth. Ponnarainyanum Punduhiladayum Vannamaringil Valarndu Alagerippa. And then from the waist he goes on to the stomach of the Lord. Now you know that Lord Vinayagar is known as Dundi Vairan. Dundi means of course a big huge belly, So Avayar calls it Pelai Vairu. Vairu means belly. Now Pelai means box. So it's like a huge box. Now this stomach of the Lord is big. Now what this signifies the fact that the entire universe, entire creation is within the form of the Lord. The creation does not contain the Lord. The Lord contains creation. So this refers to his form, which is immanent, and also he is immanent in everything. At the same time, he is beyond. So this immanent in creation and beyond creation is described by the fact that the entire universe is within the form of the Lord. And this is exemplified in Vinayaka, in the form of Lord Vinayaka, by his huge belly. In that belly, the entire universe rests. The belly is actually representative of the form of the Lord. The entire universe rests within the form of the Lord. And so this Pele Vairu, the belly is huge because it contains a huge universe. The huge entire creation is there. So Pele Vairum, Pele means box, huge. Vairum. And then she goes on to describe his tusk. Perum Bara Kodum. Perum means big. Param means weight or heavy or strong. Something which is weighty, strong, heavy. Kodu means the tusk. The tusks of Lord Vinayaka, of course, his elephant face has got tusks. Those tusks are very weighty and strong. Pelai Vayirum, Perumbara Kodum. And then she goes on to describe his face. His face, he is an elephant face god. Therefore, she calls him Vela Muham. She describes him as having Vela Muham. Muham means face, Vela means elephant face. So, Vela Muhamum, Vilangum Senduramum. Now, Senduram is actually a reddish powder which is applied as a bindi, as a puttu on the forehead. Or it could also be that this reddish powder is applied onto the face of the elephant. So, Vilangum Senduram. Vilangum means to shine forth or to be apparent. So this Vilangum Senduram. So on his face, or you can assume that it is on his forehead. He has this reddish powder. It could be in the form of a puttu or a bindi, or it could be that it is applied on his face. So Pele Vairum, Perumbara Kodum, Vela Mugamum, Vilangum Senduram. On the elephant face, there is this apparent reddish powder called Senduram. Vilangum Senduramum, Aindu Karamum, 5 hands. Now you know that Vinayaka has 4 hands, and the fifth hand is of course his trunk, which functions as a hand. Now these 5 hands actually signify the 5 functions of the Lord. When you talk about Nataraja Perumal, he does the Panchakritya, which is creation, preservation, destruction, veiling, and giving grace. So because Lord Vinayaka is none other than Lord Shiva himself. It's another form of Lord Shiva. So therefore, the functions Lord Shiva, Vinayaka also performs. This form performs the functions of Lord Nataraja, the form of the Shivam. Shivam is of course, Lord Shiva is of course formless. When it takes form, it takes many forms. In the form of Nataraja, you see him having the fire and Uduka and all, signifies the 5 and the 5 functions. Now, if you look at Lord Vinayaka, his 5 hands signify exactly the same thing, the 5 functions. So, Aindu Karam, he has got 5 hands. Aindu Karamum, Angusa Pasam, and in 2 of those hands, he has an Angusam and a Pasam. Angusam here refers to that, that instrument which the elephant herder, I can only call him herder, I don't know what else to say, elephant, the one who sits on the elephant and drives the elephant, controls the elephant. Now he has a small instrument which is long, and then it's got a pointed curved ending. Now this he uses to hook the elephant's ear, and he guides the elephant. He wants it turn left, he pulls the left ear with that instrument. He wants to turn right, he pulls the right ear. So this instrument, this Angusam, controls the huge animal, elephant. So in the same way, Lord Vinayaka uses this Angusam to control the souls, or to control the Anava, which pervades the soul, which blocks the soul from gaining the grace of the Lord. Okay, so Angusam, Pasam means rope. Now this rope is Lord Vinayaka to rope his devotees to him, to pull souls to him. So Angusa Pasamum, these instruments in both his hands. Nenjil Kudigonda Neelamaniyum. Nenji means thought. Of course, Nenji means chest. Here refers to thought or mind. Kudikonda. Kudi means to live. Kudi, or to forever permanently stay. Neelamani. Neelam means blue. Now in Tamil literature, the color blue is often used to describe black. Now the elephant is dark or blackish in color, greyish and black and dark. So therefore, Mani means body. So Lord Vinayaka has a dark body. So Nenjil Kudigonda Neelamani, and this dark body of the Lord captures the imagination, captures the mind of the devotee, and exists there forever, and comes to live there in the mind, in the thoughts of the devotee. So Nenjil Kudigonda Neelamani, this dark form of the Lord is permanently resides within the minds of the devotee. That's what it means. Nenjil Kudigonda Neelamaniyum Nandravayum. Now, Nanda, now Y means mouth. The mouth of the elephant, the lower lip is actually hanging a bit, right? It's bent and hanging a bit. So that's what Naludal means, to hang. So Nandra Y means hanging mouth. So it describes the mouth of the elephant face god. So Nandra Vayum, Nangir Puyamum. Puyam means shoulder. Now he has Nang means four. Iru can have two meanings in Tamil. One is it can mean two, the numeral 2, or it can mean big or strong or great. So therefore, if you take it as being 4, the iru being great or strong, then you say Nangiru Puyam. So he has got 4 great shoulders. Now if you take the iru to mean 2, then it's Nangu iru means 4 times 2, which is 8. So he got 8 shoulders. Now the Lord is often described as having 4 shoulders, 4 hands, or even 8 hands, 1 hand for each direction. That kind of this one. So even Lord Shiva is described as Yendol Mukkan. Manikavada says in the Kuletapatti, Yendol Mukkan Yemmane. He describes the Lord as, oh, our Lord who has 8 shoulders. So 8 hands, 8 shoulders. So as you can see, the characteristics of Lord Shiva is also given to Vinayaka because he is a form of Lord Shiva. So Nangir Puyamum, so 4 or 8 shoulders, and then Moondru Kan. Moondru means 3, Kan means eyes. So Vinayaka has 3 eyes. Now who else has 3 eyes? Lord Shiva has 3 eyes. One on the forehead, 2 at the 2 eyes like we have, and then 1 on the forehead. Right? So this again underlines the fact that Lord Shiva is none other, the Lord Vinayaka is none other than Lord Shiva himself. So Moondru Kannum Mummadachuvadum. Now Madam refers to the liquid. Elephants, look at the elephant's eyes. They have this liquid flowing out from the eye. And then they have always from the trunk of the elephant you see the liquid flowing out. So that is called Madanir in Tamil. So it refers to the Mum means 3. So 3 types of liquid. What type of liquid and from where? Sometimes they say 5, sometimes they say 3. This is in all the literatures in Tamil. Please find out from those who know better. But as far as I can tell you is 3. Mother means that liquid, it flows out. 3 types of liquid. And when this liquid flows out, it keeps on flowing out. So there is always a path, a mark of that liquid coming out. So if you look at the eyes of the elephant, you notice closely, it will have a black mark down from extending from the tips of its eyes down. Alright, so that is the mark of that liquid flowing out, right? So Chuvadu means mark. So Mummada Chuvadu means the mark of the 3 liquids flowing. So Mummada Chuvadum. As you know, all the characteristics of the elephant is given to Lord Vinayaka. Now, of course, this Madanir is given a philosophical meaning by our Shastras. You please ask our elders as to what the philosophical meaning is. Okay. So now, Mummada Chuvadum, Irandu Seviyum, 2 big ears. Irandu Seviyum, Ilangu Pon Mudiyum. Mudi means crown. Ilangu means to be visible, to be clear, or to be apparent. So because the crown is made of gold and it's beautiful and shining, therefore it's clearly apparent. It's visible. So Ilangu Pon Mudi. Pon means gold. So Ilangu means visible, apparent. So visibly apparent gold crown. Mudi means crown. So Ilangu Pon Mudiyum. And then Tiranda Muppurinol. Now if you see, Lord Avayar has gone from the feet of the Lord to his waist, to his stomach, to his tusk, to his face, to his ears, to his crown. Now she comes back to his chest. Mummada Chuvadum, Tiranda Muppurinul, and on Tigaloli Marbu. Marbu means chest. Tigal, as I told you, is being apparent or clearly visible, no? And because the entire form of the Lord is jnana. So jnana is actually described, is actually light. Why? Because light is a symbol of knowledge. So jnana, so naturally, if the form of the Lord is jnana, then it is naturally effulgent. So because it's effulgent, therefore he is clearly visible, he is apparent. That's why he says Tigaloli Marbu. Tigal means apparent. Earlier he said Vilangu Ponmudi. Vilangu also means apparent. Because of the light, the jnana, which pours forth from the form of the Lord. So that light is clearly visible to the eyes. So the Tigaloli Marbum, Muppuri Nulum, Mummada Chuvadum, Ilangu Ponmudiyum, Tiranda Muppuri Nul, Tigaloli Marbum, Tiranda Muppuri Nul on his chest, which is clearly visible. Tigaloli Marbum, Oli means light, effulgent. He wears Nool. Nool means thread, and this refers to the sacred thread worn by, you see Brahmins wearing that. So that thread is actually a symbol of learning. Anyone who is learned in the Vedas or learned in the Shastras wears 3 threads. It's actually a symbol of learning. Anyone who is learned in the Shastras can wear it. That's why you see some people nowadays, see people anyone wearing the sacred thread. Alright, so this sacred thread is actually made up of 3 different threads which are twisted together. So that's why he says Muppuri Nool. This thread which is on Lord Vinayaka's clearly visible, effulgent chest is made up of 3 threads which are twisted together. Mu means 3, Puri means twisted, Nool means thread. So a thread which is made up of 3 different threads twisted together on his apparent effulgent chest. So Muppuri Noolum Moondru Kannum Mummada Chuvadum Tiranda Muppuri Nool Tigaloli Marbum Sotpadam Kadanda. Now, up to now, he has described the form of the Lord which is visible. Now, this visible form of the Lord, we call it the form, with hands, ears, nose and all that. Now, this form is actually called Tadatta Lakkhana. Tadatta Rupam. Tadatta means the form of the Lord which is visible. Now, above this form, this visible form comes from the form which is formless. Now, this form is with form, eyes, ears, nose and all that. Now, this form with form comes from the formless aspect of the Lord. The formless aspect called Swarubam. Now that Swarubam is actually knowledge itself. It's consciousness, pure consciousness. And this consciousness is beyond thought, beyond word. So that Swarubam of the Lord, that formless form of the Lord, that form of the Lord which is pure consciousness is described in this final line. Sotpadam Kadanda, or the final part. This form of the Lord, Sotpadam Kadanda Turiya Menyana Atpudam. Atpudam means speciality or greatness. So this greatness, how? Sotpadam Kadanda. Sol means word. Padam means thought. Right? So he is beyond thought and word. Word here refers to Pasanyana, thought here is Pasunyana. So beyond Pasanyana and Pasunyana. Now what is Pasanyana, Pasunyana? It's a topic for another day. Siddhantam, which you can find out from people who are more knowledgeable. So I will continue. Sotpadam Kadanda, Turiya Menyana. Turiya, the state of Turiya is a state of enlightenment. Not complete enlightenment, very close to pure enlightenment. Turiyadidam is pure enlightenment, pure union with the Lord. Turiyam is one step below. Now we are in waking state. When we go to sleep, we go to dream state, and then we go to sleep and deep sleep and so on. So that is the state of the soul traveling downwards into anava, into ignorance. Because when we sleep, we don't have consciousness. So therefore, it is going deeper into anava, which is actually ignorance. So it's darkness. Now, common souls like us, we sleep there. But you see, yogis, Sivajnanis, they don't sleep in that sense. Their sleep is a travel upwards. When we sleep, we travel downwards into anava, into ignorance. When yogis, they travel, they sleep, they lose consciousness, but not in ignorance, but in the Lord. So they travel upwards. Now this, just like we have sleep, dream, deep sleep, deep sleep and so on, the yogis also experience this state, but they in these states are in sleep we gradually go towards anava, ignorance. In the states of sleep of the yogis or the Sivajnanis, they actually travel upwards towards the Lord. Just like we lose consciousness of our very self in deep sleep, the yogis also lose consciousness of themselves. We lose consciousness of ourselves because we go deeper into ignorance, into anava. The yogis lose consciousness because they go deeper into the Lord and lose themselves within the Lord. Now that state is called Turiyam and Turiyadidam. Turiyam is one step below Turiyadidam. So that is what is meant by Sorpadam Kadanda Turiya Meñana. Me means true, Jnana means consciousness. This true consciousness is existent in the Turiya state. And this Turiya state is beyond the word and thought. Sorpadam Kadanda Turiya Meñana Adpudam. So this form of the Lord, they earlier described the form of the Lord, the formed form. Now the formless form of the Lord is beyond thought and word. It is pure consciousness, true consciousness. It exists in the Turiya and Turiyatida state. And that pure form is Lord Vinayaka. So that is what he says. Sotpadam kadanda Turiya Meñana Adpudam Nindra. Now this part is interpreted in two ways. One is Adpudam Yindra and Adpudam Nindra. I will explain Adpudam Nindra first. Adpudam Nindra means he stands in that state. Now who is that person who stands in this state, which is beyond thought and word, which is pure consciousness, which is in the state of Turiya? Now it is the Karpaha Kaliri. Kaliri means elephant. He describes Lord Vinayaka as a Katpaha Kaliri. Katpaha means, Katpaham refers to the Katpaha Vrisha, which is existent in the Devaloka. It's a tree actually, a Katpaha tree. When you go in Devaloka, when you go and you stand under the tree and you ask whatever you want, the tree will give it to you. A wish fulfilling tree. That's what they call a Katpaha. That is what it meant by Katpaha Vriksha. So, just like the wish fulfilling tree, there it is a wish fulfilling tree. It's called Katpaha Vriksha. Here it's a wish fulfilling elephant. Therefore, it's called Katpaha Kaliri. So, just like the tree can give all your wishes, so also Lord Vinayaka in His grace, because He gives everything that we want, everything that we desire, He is called an elephant, but who is akin to the Katpaha Vriksha, therefore he is called a Katpaha Kaliri, an elephant which is akin to the Katpaha Vriksha, a wish fulfilling tree. And this elephant, which is a wish fulfilling tree, where does he actually his true state is where? Is beyond thought and word. Sotpadam Kadanda. Kadanda means beyond. Meñana, true consciousness. And this exists in Turiya and Turiyadida state. Turiya Nindra. So he stands in that is his place, from which he comes down into the form state. This Turiya state is formless. So this wish fulfilling tree, elephant, which is a which is like a wish fulfilling tree, stands in that state. So if you take Nindra, that is the meaning. If you say Yindra, Yindra means to bring forth or to give birth to. So if you take it as Yindra, so therefore all the Sot Padam Kadanda Turiya Meñanam, it applies to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is beyond thought and word. He is the true consciousness. He is in the Turiya state, and he brought forth Yindra, this wish fulfilling elephant, Katpaha Kaliri. So in this line can be looked at in both these meanings. So, Sotpadam Kadanda Turiya Meñana Adpudam Indra Katpaha Kalire. With that, Avayar finishes the first part, or what I would like to call the first part, because this part describes the form of the Lord, the formed form, and then also His formless form. Right? Now, after this, Avayar will move on to asking the Lord for all types of yogic achievements, and then she will describe the pleasure, the great bliss she got from the Lord, and that we will look at in the coming sessions. I must warn you that it is very esoteric in nature, and I am very limited in my knowledge and ability. I will try my best. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let us pray that Lord Vinayaka gives us the opportunity to meet again. Tiruchitrambalam.